morning, everybody. So today's Friday and we're getting ready to start a new cycle on Monday. So I wanted to share a few tips on prepping and planning because this is very, very key, and it is basically what will make or break your 21 days. First thing I want to say is the prepping and the planning part is very key. Okay, so I know that sometimes people say, oh, well, I sort of have gone through it and I get it and I just don't need to do it anymore. Don't shortchange yourself. Okay, I've been doing this for a year, and when I have put my little cups away and I've said, it's no big deal, slowly the pounds sort of creep back up because yes, I know the right choices and things like that, but it's mental. It's a mental game of what happens. And so if you haven't prepped at least, then it makes it difficult to stay on track. This is a process, and the reason why they do 21 days is just because statistically it takes you 21 days to form a habit, and that's what you're doing. And you are literally rewiring your brain to not grab certain things that maybe you have grabbed in the past, to not make the choices maybe that you have made in the past. It's just like when you were a kid and you were learning how to brush your teeth, ride a bike, all those things, you did it and you did it and you did it and you did it until you didn't think about it anymore and you knew what you were doing. This is exactly the same way. So you've got to go through the process, even if it's not 100%. Okay, so progress is what you're looking for, not perfection. And some of you have probably seen that. So your first week maybe doesn't go the way you want it. Your second week gets a little bit better. The third week you're like, okay, I got it. I'm good. And then your next cycle, you start out even better. So don't get discouraged. Excuse me. It is a process, and it's a process that you have to trust and put your faith in and know that once you understand it, it's going to work for you, okay? So you have all of these containers, and what you need to be thinking about is, first of all, you need to be going and figuring out, well, what is my caloric intake? And in the book on page 4, it says, get started in 5 simple steps. And my book is a little bit older, so it might be on a different page, but this is basically what it looks like, okay? And that's the formula. You calculate based on your weight, how many calories in a day you should be having, roughly. And what I really like about this program is you're not, counting calories, and it's not exact to the day. You fluctuate, and your body actually responds to that fluctuation in terms of weight loss. So it's good that you don't eat the same thing every day. It's good that you don't eat the same things at the same time every day. And it's okay that, you may have stuffed this box with chicken one day, or tuna, or whatever your protein was, ground beef, and some are a little bit fuller than others. It's okay. It's okay to do that. It doesn't have to be perfect. So once you've figured out each of your categories, there's so many different tally trackers that you can use. You can copy what's in the book. You can go online and find things. You can create your own. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is when you're first starting, you do need to do this, okay? If you don't, you won't follow the plan. It's that simple. So initially, you do have to put that work in. Put it in on the front end rather than putting it in on the back end. So you go through and you figure out, well, how many of each category do I need? And this would be what I would do. I know I need 3 greens, 2 purples, 2 yellows, 4 reds, 1 blue, 1 orange, and I get 2 teaspoons. And then I build my menu from that. Okay, and this is like chicken scratch here, all right? But this is what I did. This was one of my very first weeks that I did, and I just put Monday through Sunday, and I started with my dinners, and I worked backwards. And so I always have a vegetable and a protein at dinner time. I don't usually have carbs at dinner, and I don't usually have fruit. It's because I'm on the kind of the fat burning program, and I eat 6 times a day, and so I eat more of my calories, higher dense calories in the first part of the day than I do the end of the day. So I work my way backwards, and then so basically I would look at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then I would have 3 snacks in between. And so I usually have 2 snacks kind of earlier in the day, and then 1 before dinner. And I highly recommend, once you know your count, okay, you start plugging in based on the things that you like, okay? So how do I figure out what I like? That's what people say. I'm bored, I look at my list, but I don't know, really what to put in there. You need to do a little bit of work. And some people have purchased the Fix8 cookbook that gives you a lot of ideas. You can get that through your Beachbody coach. You can go to www.fixedupresipes.com. They have some good stuff. You can go to skinnytaste.com. She's got a lot of great ideas. You can Google just 21 Day Fix recipes. There's tons of stuff out there. And look on Pinterest. You have so many resources at your fingertips. And we do try to share a lot in the group, but we all have different tastes too, right? So you have to do a little bit of work. So you need to start doing that if you haven't already. If you don't have your kit and your kit's not going to be in on Monday, don't freak out, okay? We're going to put a couple menus in there that you can just follow for now. And if you have your kit and you want to take some of these ideas, you know, you can do that as well. Ooh, the sun's coming right in now. It's like shining right on my face. That was weird. So anyway, you go through your count, you figure out the things that you like, and you start to backtrack. I started with, look at this sun shining right in my face. Now to me right there, I feel like, thank you Jesus for the sun, and I think that's Jessie coming in and saying hi. My girl. So you backtrack, okay? You backtrack and you look at your dinners. For me, I always try to have dinners with my family. And so I would plan there and say, okay, what proteins am I going to have at night? Biggest misconception is I need to do different meals for my family or my kids than I need to do for myself. I want to stop you right there. No, you don't. So for example, I know I always have a protein and I know I always have a vegetable, but that doesn't mean that you can't cook carbs or other things for your family. I just wouldn't have them. So let's say I had like a roast chicken and some baked vegetables or steamed vegetables. I could still do like baked potatoes, sweet potato fries, rice, like a brown rice, beans, whatever is on my list for carbs. It doesn't mean that I have to have it, but everybody else in my family might be enjoying it. And I eat what I want, and then they still eat clean. So it's sort of a win-win. And then I go backwards and I say, well, what do I like for lunch? And I fill that in. And what do I like for breakfast? And I fill that in. I've done this for a year now, so I have favorites that I choose. But I encourage you to mix it up. The other thing that I really want to tell people that, and it's a big misconception, is especially for your smaller containers, but even for your big container, like I will split up my fruit. So for example, you don't need to eat a full serving of fruit at one time. I mean, it's a lot actually. So for example, I might fill half of this with blueberries and raspberries and have that for breakfast. Then I might have the rest of the half for a snack. I may even have some, if I decide to have it later in the day, on a salad at night, and then I'm breaking it up throughout the day. You don't need to have it all at one time. And in that way, you actually get a better mix of your foods. Because what happens is people eat it and they're like, oh, I don't have anything else. Like, that's exciting to mix with this. So break them up. I mean, other than your vegetables, which, you can cram as much lettuce as you want in here. I don't count so much of my vegetables unless it's something specific, like carrots, which have a lot of sugar. And they say there's only I think maybe 10 carrots for a serving. But other than that, I don't usually count too much unless it's going to be like raw vegetables that I want to take with me for snack and hummus, something like that. But my carbs, I may split this up. So I will use this as a full serving for oatmeal in the morning, and it's perfect. But for the rest of my day, if I want to have a carb for a snack and lunch, or if I want to have one at dinner and lunch, then I will split this in half. Maybe I want some brown rice or quinoa or something, or beans. I can measure out half of this and then do another half later, and then you get more variety. Certainly I do it for these two, because these are like the ones that we all like, along with the carbs. This is like the good stuff, hummus and cheese and all the good fats and stuff like that. So I will split this one up too. I always like walnuts or some kind of nuts on my oatmeal, so I'll put about half in the morning, and then I may want to have like half feta cheese or something like that on a salad later in the day, or cheese to put on tacos or whatever, so I can, split it up. This little guy, this is so tiny. A lot of times people say, what the heck do I do with this? Well, what I have learned to do with this is really good for your salad dressings, and you definitely want to try some of the homemade salad dressings in your book, for sure, especially if you're going to be eating salads. I do not put a full serving on a salad. I just know over time that I just don't. It's too much for me. So I will use about half of this on a salad, and then the other half you can use for chopped nuts. You can use for seeds, like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, whatever happens to fall in that orange category. And again, you're splitting it up throughout the day. You're giving more variety throughout the day. So for example, one of my snacks, since I eat 6 times a day, might be half of either sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds with like a fruit, or mixed in with a yogurt or something like that. So a variety is key to this program. So you work yourself backwards, you figure out the foods that you like, put it together, okay? Put it together. Take the time to write it out. And you're gonna find things that you can use over and over, and you can check off. Okay, did I have my 3 greens? Yep, I got them in. Do I have all my yellows in? Yep, I got them in. Do I have, you go down the list, you get the point, right? So then it's planned out. You can shop accordingly, you can prep accordingly. And if you've been doing this program for a while, you know how key it is to prep your food. If you don't have that food stored and packed and ready to go, then it's just really easy to, make a wrong choice or be in a position where you can't make the best choice, even if you wanted to, right? I bring a little lunch bag with me when I'm on the go, and I am on the go a lot with my kids. And so if I don't have that packed, like I do a check the night before, and I make sure I've got all my food for the day, except for like my dinners. That's usually when I'm home and I can, have that meal with my family. Some of you work at night. Well, if you know that you're working at night, it's no different. You need to bring your dinner at night. It's really that simple. So there's plenty of excuses that you can come up with. And when I get to know you a little bit better, if you're on my team, if I'm coaching you, I tend to tell you that. I'll say, that's great. I love what you're doing positively. But if I see consistently, like it's the same excuse over and over again, I'm going to call you on it and say, well, why would you do that? Why would you set yourself up for failure? Set yourself up for success. Prep and pack your food and take it with you, and you will absolutely exceed the goals that you probably set out already. So you will get there. Trust the process. It will happen. If you're stuck, by all means, reach out to the group. There's lots of people who struggle through this, and it's totally normal until you figure it out. And then if you want, obviously one-on-one, go to your coach. Any one of us will help you. But if you signed with me, then obviously you know who I am. If you signed with another coach, then reach out to them. But, if you're in a pinch and you just want to throw something out to the group, we try to respond, as soon as we can. So I want to say good luck, welcome, check in every day, because we're doing prep videos now. If you didn't get your kit, don't freak out. We're going to put menus in there for you to shop over the weekend with, and ask a lot of questions. Questions are good. All right, have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.